because it's hard for a political dissident or rebel leader or somebody trying to make things better to be rallied around if they've been shoveled down a cryptid's throat. Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Brand new day where it is cold and wet and raining and joy. So cold, in fact, that last night I had a fleecy blanket, a bath towel, and then another fleecy blanket over the top of that, and then had to put something over my feet because my feet were too cold. That's rare. So I was actually, once I did that, I got warm, and in fact toward the end of the night had to take the fleecy blanket off, so it was too warm. But hey, it's good to be warm. Sort of. I don't function well in heat. I function well in cold, but I like heat and I don't like cold, so what fun. And hey, thumbs up, we have the front loading of videos. If you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, any comment, even for the algorithm, that would be double plus good. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome, and I am out of breath. My sincere apologies for being out of breath and my dentures being crazy. If you'd like to help me out and stay alive, I have links to my PayPal in the video description. Well, the Patreon, as well as a PayPal for donations and a post office box, so you can send anything you like, an Amazon wishlist link. So thumbs up for that. And hey, front loading a video is over. Thumbs up. Also, one thing that I think is cool, in my window, which I still have wide open and I need to close because it's getting cold enough that I don't, not shut entirely, but go from wide open to about this wide. Except I couldn't do that last night. For like the past week and some, outside my window there has been a large garden spider inside of a web. And so last night I went over to the window so I could move the fan. The fan's right here, up above it in this area, which I blocked with something to try and keep some of the bugs out anyway. The spider came in and she made her web right in front of the cover. So I can't take the fan down, that'll disrupt her web. So I've got a big garden spider up there on the inside of the room, and I'm glad and I'm happy. And in fact, last night when I was getting some water, I put my fingers in it and splashed it up at her web so that water would get on her web so she could drink. There's no dew inside of a room, and I don't want her to die. Hopefully she's going to be okay. A very good thing. Ghost is, I wouldn't say doing well, but at least he's alive, and that is a very good thing. I mean, he's not breathing great. He's breathing harder than he should, but he still does hamster things. He wanders around in there, he digs, he burrows, he chews on things, he does hamster stuff. It's just a little bit slower, and he still drinks like crazy and eats and does everything that a hamster would. So it's some kind of chronic thing. I don't know what's going on, so hopefully he's just not hurting. But I don't bother him much. I feed him, I clean up and all that, but past that I try not to bother him just because he gets excited and then it makes it harder for him to breathe. But still, checking out on my window here, my topics list. Last night I wanted to take a shower, and so I had to leave early on my walkies so I could come back, wait an hour to recover a bit from the walk, take a shower, let my hair dry, go to bed. And so it was about 5 o'clock I left to go on walkies. I got as far as Safeway, which is about a mile away from where I live-ish. Anywhere from like 1.5 miles to half a mile. I don't know exactly. I've never actually worked that one out. But I got to Safeway and it started to rain. Well, I carry a travel umbrella in my backpack if I don't want to carry my big, major, normal sized umbrella, and it started to rain, so I reached back and I forgot to put my umbrella back after the last time it rained. Uh-oh. So I went into Safeway to see if they had umbrellas there, and no umbrellas. So I headed back as best I could and as quickly as I could, and I got almost into southern Shelton when it was just a little couple drops here, a couple drops there, and then boom, it started to rain. And so by the time I marched up into southern Shelton, nice hilly mountainous area, I was drenched. So I had to dry my hair, change my shirt, change my outer shirt, my plaid things that I use as jackets, and I was not happy because up there, out of a 4-6 mile walk to Walmart and back, I had already used up 2 and I was still at home. So I got my big umbrella and I used that, and I headed out to Walmart again with stuff changed so I was dry, my hair dry, got up to Walmart, did the stuff I had to do, walked on back, had to stop back at Safeway again, had to buy a box of cat dirt, 20-pound box, and then finally made it back. And when I got back, I was exhausted. That was an 8-mile round trip. 6 miles is difficult to do because it inflames the nerves of my back. I was exhausted. There was no way I was going to be able to take a shower. I sat down and I could not get back up. So, even though I'm still clean, I haven't been able to put running water and chemicals over my body. I mean, I use a sponge bathing thing where I take washcloths, wash my face, I wash my hair with those, and I get my trouble spots above and below to make sure I'm as clean as possible. But it's not the same as standing under running water and letting chemicals, go all over you. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get that done. I try not to take too long between showers. It's just I am physically unable to do it as much as I want because of chronic pain, weakness, and fatigue. It's only about once a week, which, if you take a look, if you're a younger person, I used to take a shower every single freaking day. It took a long time before I was able to get used to not doing that. But if you take a look at the things that you're supposed to do as you get older for things like your skin health and some, is don't shower every day. About once a week, if you keep yourself clean so you don't offend, is good for your skin. Don't go longer. There are various videos you can watch that shows what happens if you don't wash parts of your body, or if you don't sponge bathe, things are going to get not good. So you got to sponge bathe, and you don't want to just go forever without. But it's about once a week is good for your skin. So getting older is fun. Still though, that's what's been going on. Now I want to talk about, of course, my creative projects, the whole inside, outside, razor's edge, and the whole cryptid world stuff, because I've been thinking, of course, on the creative level about things, because I can't really direct where my creativity is going. I have to follow my subconscious to what it wants to chew on, but I'm trying to make, I've got the whole inside outside razor's edge thing. It is a living, breathing thing that I can keep in context and working just by working, add something to it and have the ripple effects go out. I'm getting there on the whole cryptid thing. Part of understanding that is, I have mentioned before how there is a bad habit that some of the cryptids have that are very icky. Now, I already have these creatures that, they use human beings as snacks and food, so that's kind of icky already. But these are things that go from mildly and moderately icky to very, very icky. Not because of gross things, but because of largely political implications and such. Like, one of the things that happens is cryptids, when they devour human beings, they start with people that aren't going to be really missed first. Now, who is not going to be missed, especially in major American cities? People that have already fallen through the cracks, people that have already dropped out of the system, people that are already kicked and beaten by society. The poor, the homeless, those that have mental issues, those that have substance issues, they're already kicked and crushed by society to the point that they can't get back up. And they are the first to get eaten by the cryptids. They're already kicked and beaten, and then they get kicked and beaten further. I mean, just think, getting kicked to the curb by society, you've lost everything. And then to make matters worse, something comes along and eats you. I mean, that goes from mildly and moderately icky to very icky, because in American society, people don't care where the homeless go as long as they're not bothering them. So if they just vanish, into a cryptid belly, no one's going to really mind or care. And of course, on the capitalistic side, I was thinking about this. When they're using human beings to break down into snack foods for cryptids, the human beings seeing profit potential that do this, in the United States and other, developed countries, there's going to be largely just, medical things, taking cadavers occasionally, and volunteers, because depressed people sometimes make very bad decisions. And so and of course there is the gray areas where they don't ask too many questions or look too hard if something questionable comes up. So of course there's people who didn't consent that get broken down into snacks. But my subconscious, as I was walking along, suddenly realized as I was thinking about this, it's like, yeah, it's hard to find volunteers in developed countries, and it's going to cost money, whether it's a large amount if you're going to compensate family and all that, or a small amount is like, here, you can have this for a day, go eat, come back in, and then we'll start. It's going to cost. But if you're willing to hold your nose and cover your eyes, there are all kinds of governments in the world we live in right now that would be more than happy to provide the capitalist pig dogs with all kinds of human beings to break down into snacks for free. In fact, come back every month. We'll have more. Because it's hard for a political dissident or rebel leader or somebody trying to make things better to be rallied around if they've been shoveled down a cryptid's throat. So yeah, they make a lot of snacks out of questionable world sources. There's a large supply of human beings to break into snack foods. A large supply, all free, provided in nice little areas so they can take all these living, breathing human beings and just break them down. Thumbs up. Mildly icky to really icky. And the thing is, in both cases, it's not really the cryptid's fault. In the first case, it's because of their nature. They have to eat, and they realize that eating those that will be missed is a bad idea. And of course, in the second case, capitalism. And don't say capitalism wouldn't do that. In the United States, we are having threatened civil war, literal civil war right now, because of the southern states that want to break away from the rest of the Union, because they look at the southern United States and how they say it was states' rights when they wanted to break away. But if you ever look at anything by those states, they wanted to stay in the South and keep slavery because slavery was very, very profitable. And the transatlantic slave trade for hundreds of years if not more? And how often have people just enslaved other races or genocides? How many millions have died in both the North and South Americas just because Europe wanted all that capital? Don't try and say that human beings wouldn't do this. Oh yes, we would. But we also have, one of the things I was thinking of, there is capitalistic lines of products, and one of the most favored products is the Uncle Bonbons line. And Uncle Bonbons it's a smaller, more gourmet line of products, and one of them that's very popular is Uncle Bonbon Special Edition Gourmet Bone Glazing Sauce, and it adds that cryptid crunch to human bone. They're not going to make any value or, judgment calls on anybody. They're not going to say eating human beings is good or bad. They're not in that business. How you dine is up to you. That said, if you do devour human beings, well, hey, why not try Uncle Bonbon's Special Edition Gourmet Bone Glazing Sauce? You have to be the specific kind of cryptid that can do this, though. You have to have restraint, and you have to be able to go through deferred gratification. It's not something you can just do on a whim. It's a one-use bottle of Uncle Bonbon Special Edition Gourmet Bone Glazing Sauce. When you catch your human being and you begin eating them, you just want to eat the meat, not the bones. Now, we understand that once you start doing that, you're probably going to get a few small bones. You may eat a few vertebrae, a few hand bones, finger bones. As long as you keep the bulk of the bones there, moderately cleaned off from any meat, you're good. Restraint is necessary. Then you open up your bottle of Uncle Bonbon Special Edition Gourmet Bone Glazing Sauce, and you pour that liberally over all of the remaining bones. It takes about 10 minutes to set, but once it does, the lime and special herbs and spices within add that cryptid crunch to human bone. Uncle Bonbon Special Edition Gourmet Bone Glazing Sauce comes in 4 flavors, all human derived, of course. So that's special, and there's more, of course, but right now, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, severe ADHD meet a whole bunch of other issues. Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments, and these games are all fun. I've so far enjoyed every single one of these solo RPG games I've played. Some of them are more simple than others, of course. No Quest goes by really quickly, and 4 Against Darkness, a little bit more in depth, and oh boy, once I get to D100 Dungeon, it's good, but it's very in depth. And then we have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Stephen Blanchard, hopefully the links I put in the comments have helped. We have Cake, greatly appreciated. Good to see you in the comments as well. And Hokey Smokes, hopefully you enjoyed today's Cryptid Talk as well. KYOKRI4, thumbs up. Then we have Ben B, greatly appreciated. Always good to see you in the comments. RJ Mitchell, thumbs up. Good to see you as well. Thumbs up. Well, of course, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Flora Mew, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Always good to see you in the comments. And Tommy Copeland, greatly appreciated. Thank you very, very much. And then we have Young Mayhem, greatly appreciated, thumbs up, thank you. And that is it. 10 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours, greatly appreciated. Get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only in text. Which, if you're a social hermit like I am, is kind of the best way to deal with people. Thumbs up. I'm going to try and get some phone calls made today. I still need to call the Veterans Administration, but oy vey. Hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done, but hey, survival mode is important if that's how you get through things. My little hamster's awake and he's drinking, so I'm going to squeeze a little bottle to help him drink some. There we go. Nice and gentle. And of course, with all the diseases out there in the world and things that are happening, take appropriate precautions for your situation and your location. Be as smart as you can, be as safe as you can, and of course, watch out. Watch out. There is a bus out there. It's got your name on it, and no matter where you are, you're not safe. You could be in the labyrinthine corridors of an arena watching a football game. And if you hear that mournful howl of the bus horn echoing through those tunnels, oh boy, you're gonna get smeared, and it isn't gonna be pretty. But until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.